How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Good evening. This your girl KC McDaniel. I am coming back with you again on Let's Talk About It. I was, planning on doing this earlier, but the thing is that it's now. Hey, I see one person here. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, I'm gonna see if any more people come on in to my live so we can talk about it. And oh, I don't know why my throat is feeling this type of way, but so we can talk about it and everybody can just like share whatever they want to share. And some things that I know some people are silenced about, and when it do come out, it don't come out in the right way. Welcome everybody. Please hit the like button as you come on in. As you come on in, if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're viewing my channel, welcome as well. You can hit the like button, subscribe, and if you like, you can share. This information needs to get out to people. And my discussion is going to be today about us women, to empower us women, and also share some things that we've been through in our journey. If you like to share, here with me virtually on social media, whatever. And I know sometimes it's hard to share certain things about your life on social media because we got people you don't know who might use it against you and hurt you with it. And people are out here that are like that. So we have to be careful of what we share, in a lot of ways. So what had inspired me and to do this, to have this kind of video, is because it was Miss Holla, and let's continuously keep Miss Holla in our prayers, yes. God bless her heart. I give God thanks for her life, for being here with us for that many of years, 96 years. God had a purpose for her. She shared her stories daily. Her family helped, her family, of course, share her with us in the world here that we live in today. And she has some interesting things to talk about. Whatever you can get from it when she do come on and she do her lives with her family, of course, assisting her. I really enjoyed this elderly woman. She just took me back so, back into time, when my grandmother was alive. She was feisty too. She didn't use the language as much as that um, Miss Holla used, but my grandmother was feisty, and then when she used to sit around and talk to us and tell us about her life, sometimes we didn't want to hear it, but sometimes I would sit there and let my grandmother just talk about her life journey and her struggles, her pain, all she had endured, the things she went through, just so that we can be here, for her grandchildren, her great grandchildren. And also, she passed on to her, from her children to her grandchildren to her great grandchildren to her great great grandchildren, that she had an opportunity to be here with in life with us to witness. They had some kind of memory of her. My grandmother died when she actually was in her 80s, and you know she battled with some health issues as well through her journey, her fight with life and stuff. And I love the fact that Mama, we called her, would sit down with her grandchildren. She used to correct us in our behavior and the things that she would say to us. Like me, she would tell me, when she got tired of the grandkids all in her house, y'all go home to y'all mom. And I used to be like, well, my mother lives in New York. I'm down there in South Carolina. I'd be like, well, my mother is in New York, and I'm supposed to be visiting here with you for a few days or a week or so. And I just came out here to visit you, to check on you, mama, and spend some time with you. Is that all right? But she used to be like laughing about it. She would laugh about it and everything. But I miss her dearly. I really, truly do. I miss both my grandparents. I had that experience with my grandmother on my paternal side and my grandmother on my maternal side. You know, I had them both, and I also miss my grandfather, who took care of us as well, and he was strict. He was strict. Mama shared that about him and her, through, and you know, the thing about my grandmother started her family life at 14. Okay, that's why I wanted to empower women with this conversation, because it's a difference between the women of today's world and the women of those of that time. And those women, they knew how to pray. They knew how to pray. They knew how to hold it down. Women today, yes, you're successful. Yes, you have a lot of opportunities now. You doing your thing out there independently and trying to hold it down, taking care of family and everything by yourself, because you don't want no good for nothing man in your home, or some of them don't want no good for nothing man in their home. You know, of bringing them, they just not for no good. You know, but these men, back in the days that my parents had, you know, my grandparents and everything else, my grandmom and everything else, they knew what to do to survive. You know what I'm saying? They knew what to do to survive. It wasn't like they were doing it as far as like they had to have a, well, I wouldn't say have to have a man, but they knew what they had to do to survive. And they knew what they had to do to hold their family together. Even when things weren't going so well, my grandmother made it very, very, you know, religiously, religiously, that she was going to serve God no matter what came her way. She was going to serve both my grandmothers. They made it that they were going to serve God no matter what come their way, to hold it down for their husbands and their children and other family members in the family. They made sure they would, help somebody out if they was having a difficult time, pray for that person. And I'm not saying prayer just with words coming out of their mouth and long, you know, scripted, you know, things like in prayer. They actually took action in prayer. Oh, so and so is not feeling good, or so and so's son is in some trouble right now, or her daughter's giving her some problems right now, whatever, whatever. They knew how to go over to that person's house and sit down and talk with them and eat with them and drink, whatever they did to bring that person some hope and some comfort, during those difficult times they were going through. They just knew how to just really take care of each other in the community. We lost that village, we lost that community, we lost all of that stuff on the faith, on the sake of now everybody wants to be the boss. You know, everybody wants to be the head chief or whatever it took. But the woman knew how to humble herself, allow the man to lead, allow the man to whatever resources he brought home or whatever he had brought home for the family. She knew how to make a way out of it, out of no way, and stretch a meal, keep a clean house, keep everybody out of their damn business. Didn't have a bunch of stuff going on. Didn't go out on the street party. Didn't go out getting, you know, hairdos, get their hair done, and doing all that other stuff. They had to throw that rag on their head and fix it up real nice. So they just had to give their hair a nice, good hard press and throw some rollers up in the paper bag rollers or whatever like that to make their hair look just as cute. Like we spend money on a lot of waste today, things that's so unnecessary today. They knew how to respect their husbands, like the word of God would tell you to do, how to respect your husband. You know what I'm saying? And husbands also love your wives like Christ loved the church. Those are the words given in the Bible. Those are the words from God. And these women, they didn't have a very good education. My grandmother had to stop school in the fifth grade. Okay, my grandmother had to stop school in the fifth grade, but she made sure that my aunties, my mom, everybody was able to get themselves a good education. My mother only went as far as high school. okay, high school, and even during her high school years, and I think my mother went up to like her junior year. I mean, she went up to her senior year, but she got pregnant, with my dad. She got pregnant and she started a family at 18 or 17. Yeah, I would say 17, 18 years old. So, she had to quit, her education journey or whatever to take care of a family. And my mother had to do what she had to do to survive. She solely depended on my dad, but she also drew resources from other places that she had to get help from. We all know she had to use the system. Okay, she had to use the system sometimes for food stamps and housing and all that other stuff. She had to use it, but my father and everything. Also, and some of these women had to even lie and say their husbands abandoned them, and it was just them alone, and they didn't have any man in the house and all this other stuff. Had to hide certain things just to survive, just to make a way for their family. My mother had 9 children. My grandmother had actually 15, but 12 surviving children. Because out of the 15, my uncle, who was my mother's brother, who was killed in a car accident, and who died in a car accident or whatever. And then 2 that came out, but they didn't live. And so those 3. But my mom was the oldest among her siblings, and she and her mom both were having a husband, having children around the same time, because my grandmother had my mother, like I said, she got pregnant at 14, had her at 15. So you do the math. Right, you do the math. They wasn't that too much far apart from age with each other, and those women, they had babies. Babies were coming back to back then. So this kind of conversation I'm having about empowering women, because all that's going on now in this precedence of the Me Too movement and the Mute R. Kelly, and now you see all these women attacking the fact, using rape now as a way to take down wealthy entertainers and wealthy men. Now they coming for Trump, so called they supposed to be coming for Trump, whatever, but that ain't gonna happen. We know that's not gonna happen. They trying to come for him, but that ain't gonna happen. Okay, because it's just people that love that man, from his community or his people, okay, that's in Texas, Florida, and all the other states that are Republicans, and those who um, who voted him in, and those who cheated to get him in to the White House, and they will do whatever they can to keep him out of whatever mess that they trying to do to take him down, or whatever. It's just not going to happen. Okay, so whoever got that stuff in their mind that they're going to do what they're going to do to Trump, it ain't going to happen. Trump, you got this gang. Trump is gangsta. Okay, with this government, he is gangsta because he done whatever. But I'm just putting it out there, like, if they think they're going to come for him, because they already came for, like we already saw how they moving, and when they came for Bill Cosby, this 80-year-old man who probably can't remember what he was doing back in that time, because memory gets lost, and his memory probably is not even all that sharp to remember if he was with whoever, whatever. He said, yeah, they did some things. He probably remember doing some things, certain things, but he don't remember these women. Okay? He don't remember certain people, and some people just go right along with it and jump on the bandwagon with it. Yeah, he did it. He even admitted. He said, yeah, we took pills. He just talked about the stuff. We did orgies. We did whatever. But he didn't remember these people. That's how they do in Hollywood. They party. They drink drugs. They pop pills. They do orgies and whatever you want to call it. That's what they did. And if these women did not consent to doing this stuff, they wouldn't have been there. And that's the way I look at it. If these women was not a part of this lifestyle, they wouldn't have been there. You go there, you know what you're out there to do. Okay? Now, moving on to R. Kelly. I didn't want to put that in the title because my video, for some reason, when I put R. Kelly in, my video is not being, you know, out there. You know what I'm saying? It's just how tricky the government is and what they want us to hear out there from certain people and what they don't want you to hear from certain people. And anybody that's really truly out here that really got R. Kelly's back, their videos are not being they videos are not being viewed or being out there. You know what I'm saying? That's why sometimes you'll see me just like share my own video or whatever like that. But I'm just saying, like, even with Robert Sylvester Kelly, it's not about if he did it or if he didn't do it. It's about the way they handled the law with him and the things they did with the surviving R. Kelly. I thought that was disgusting. I thought it was disgraceful. I thought it was just really, really, to me, bullyish. I thought it was cruel. I thought it was cheating. I thought it was like, let's manipulate the public. Let's get people to be on our side because we control this stuff. So we got him. We going to do this and we going to make sure that we going to get a verdict on him of guiltiness through the public. Okay? It was not through the courthouse. It was not done just right. It was not done justly. It was not fought fairly for him. So that's why I can't get with the people on the bandwagon with this stuff, coming on here calling him whatever names they calling him and saying they saw them, they witnessed all of this behavior, whatever. But if you're gonna fight, fight fair. So if he did all of this stuff, why y'all not fighting fair? Why y'all gotta get out here and you know, put certain things out there before he even went to trial? If this stuff was really true, this is the catch. Why would you even do a surviving R. Kelly document on Netflix or Lifetime? You big conglomerates and companies or whoever invested in this stuff that also all got along in this. Why you pay judges? Why you pay jurors? Why you had jurors that wasn't identified to be on this case? Why? And knowing that this stuff was already put out this is why I'm saying they did not fight fair for this man. So I cannot say these people have been, you know, justice. This is not justice. Okay, that's what I'm glad about. His new attorney, his appealing attorney, who's also being his public relations, or so his PR right now, putting it whatever she put out there is what I'm going to go with. I'm so glad she put out there now that this Don Russell character, yeah, Donnell Russell, whatever his real full name is, had that R. Kelly had nothing to do with this. This man acted out in his criminal behavior. If he did, I'm not sure if he did. Allegedly, if he did this, because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So if he did make this type of threat to harm people during the surviving R. Kelly filming or whatever like that, and made a call to come in and do some damage to some folks, I don't know if he did it. And I'm not going to put out there that he did it, but I'm glad his attorney said that this man was not his manager. This man, if he did anything, it wasn't on any advice or any under any kind of oh God, I'm trying to use the words. I'm just kind of like stuck here. It wasn't something that his her client told him to act out on. I'm just gonna put it as that. That's the best word I can use right now. You get it, okay? He had nothing to do with what Donnell or Don Russell supposedly allegedly had done. He had no involvement with that whatsoever. Just like the same with Demetrius Smith and all these other so-called witnesses that they brought during the trial in New York said that he did, and only one woman really came out in the public and tried to make everything make sense. That Robert Sylvester Kelly is really not this type of guy. He's not really about sleeping with minors and things like that. She made it clear that these women he dealt with were not under the age of, they weren't 18 and they weren't under the age of 18. These women were older women and they were legal and they knew when they were running to as groupies they knew what they were doing. Okay, there was no rape involved, and like she said, as far as what went on in his bedroom and everything else like that, her job didn't. That wasn't part of her job requirement. Her job requirement was not about that. Working with Robert Sylvester Kelly for the many years that she had worked with him closely. She saw no foul play, none of this craziness, none of this kinky business going on around her eyes. And like people say, oh well, you don't know what a person do. They don't let everybody see it. They have their little secret society group. Well, okay, whatever, whatever. But the music that this man makes and the great talent that he has and all the love he pours into it and the work he pours in it, where did he have time to be doing all of this stuff? Really? I mean, when you really got passion to do something, you are so into it so deeply and everything. You ain't got time to jump into bed with this one, jump into bed with that one, screw this one, do this, do that, sex everybody out, that was just his work. That was just music he was sending out to the world so people could enjoy it in whichever way they want to enjoy. You want to enjoy it with your husband, you want to enjoy it with your boyfriend, you want to enjoy it with your girlfriend. This is what his thing was, just to make music and then enjoy it and make people happy. And he sung about happy people. He tried to sing to the world about love and happiness and those type of things. He was not here harming folks' lives, ruining people's lives. They wanted to they and another thing. Hello, Moonlight. First time I ever saw you here. How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff I could just go on and ramble on about empowering women, the things we went through as women in back in the days. Now people don't lost their screwballs. I mean, I can't really. You welcome, you welcome. Yeah, people don't lost they screws today. This internet got really people all messed up, messed up. A lot of stuff today is just crazy. Some things just don't need to be said. If it ain't going to be something to really help people, it shouldn't really be out there. And as I'm saying about the women back in the days when my grandmother, my mother time, and all that stuff, the things they had shut up about, the things they took, just so that we can be here for opportunities for us. And also to hold down, and the most important thing was family, to hold it together for their family. And that's what it's all about. And who inspired me? Who is the person who brought that kind of like I should do this video? Is this elderly woman now who's been blowing up the internet? Lottery, Frappe and Laughs, Miss Holla. May God touch, heal, and deliver her from her battle with her sickness. May her family be comfort at this time. Lord, continue to give this family strength what they're dealing with right now, because if Lottery Frappe, hasn't been on here in a while or whatever like that. I mean, their hearts probably right now is a little like going through, seeing her going through this sickness at this age. We want to hold on and keep them here as long as we can. And sometimes these elders, they get tired. The same thing happened with my cousin who just recently lost her mom. This is my father's niece. My father's niece. She just lost her mother a few months ago, back in April, I think it was. And she was about 90 something years. Her mom was like, she lived such a long time, and it was really, really hard for her letting mom go. She held it down with the family and everything, and all the children and the children enjoyed her out in Bmore, in Baltimore. So she was a real, known soldier, a matriarch in the community and everything. She took care not only just her family, but other people, kids, that adopted her, that she adopted as her grandbabies and children and everything else. Because when they could sit down and just tell you some stories, you don't even have to look at these stories from what you've seen on TV or whatever to make you believe this is really truly how things supposed to be, or this is truly what happened. They tell you from what they know and they lived through and they experienced and everything. And it was still hard for my cousin. Until this day, she is still mourning her mom. And that's okay, because I mourned my mother for 2 years when my mother passed away. Even though my mother passed at the age of 66 years old. And that today, that is young. Young. 66 years old, she gone. And that's young. Very young. On August, my mom died like around August 18th. will be the time we buried her in 2006, August 18. And that was a very difficult time. You know, it was hard for us to let go. It was hard for me because I've been there through the whole journey of her transitioning. So that was a lot to go through. So I could imagine going to the hospital. My mother was on those machines and everything else like that, and how they lost her, then they brought her back, and then she just let go because she just got tired. She wanted to be with her husband. Um, and she didn't want to be a burden, I guess, to her children as much, that we can go on and feel like we don't have to suffer to stay in there to make sure she was okay. So it was a lot. So I'm right now. My prayers are there with with the family of Hala, and I pray that God give them strength, comfort them, whatever, and help and deliver Hala. You know, I want her to be here, but sometimes we get so selfish, you know. And the thing is that we don't want to let go. We don't want to let go, but they get tired. Some of them can't deal. Like Hala says, she says, I don't understand all of this, technology stuff or whatever like that. That stuff. She's because see the thing is that they only know what they knew from what their time was. Even through their marriage. And the thing I loved about what she says is that I love my husband. I loved my husband. My husband in her eyes was can't do no wrong. And she shares her story. Like the woman that came and told her husband pull up a dress. Now this is her story. I'm not telling her story. She told her own story, but I'm just sharing some highlights of her story. And the thing she said about this woman coming and talking about her husband was touching them and doing whatever, she was like, well, that's your business. Okay. And people ask them questions about what if another woman came to your house for you? No, you getting my husband. I'm gonna keep my husband. I'd rather have a half a loaf of bread than nothing at all. You just go ahead and be lonely if you want to be lonely. I can't afford to be lonely. I got children that I had with this man, a life I had with this man, and he's good in doing certain things for the family, the things of the family. And she probably needed that discipline, in her life or whatever. Because it wasn't, who's going to take a woman with a whole family of kids and treat her any kind of great way? Maybe there are some men that might do that if her husband died in for whatever reason, and she still had young children to raise up, and she wasn't really no wild out woman out there on the street or nothing like that. There would have been some men to come around and step in and take on that role or whatever, but rarely you will find men to do that as much as women would do it. Men don't do that too much. Men want their own family. They want their own children. They want to be like start their own bloodline. You know what I'm saying? It's very rare that you find a man that want to really stay in a relationship with a woman with a family already. And just like some of these things that we all got offended, I got a little offended about it too. When may God rest his soul, Kevin Samuel said, when you get a certain age as a woman, you consider washed up and and leftovers. You know what I'm saying? You washed up and you leftovers. Like the woman he talked about, the high profile women, the high value women and everything. These women that want to be treated in high value, but they don't carry themselves in a high value way. They carry themselves like gold diggers, hoes, loose with themselves. They sleeping around from one man to the jump to the next man to the highest bidder to try to get to the next man to the top, whatever, whatever. These kind of women that would just tear themselves to pieces to they don't have no morals, no dignity, no values, no nothing. So he was basically, when I was arguing with people about what Kevin Samuels said, they said to me, they said, but you're not that type of woman, so why should you be mad at what he's saying? He's speaking the truth. He only spoke the truth about what certain type of women are that want to be with a high value man but got low standards. The same thing with the same women that ran behind Robert Sylvester Kelly with these high values, wanting to have a high value man, but they have low standards. They don't know their value worth. Their mouths are foul. They going out here getting BBLs, big butts, big boobs, those kind of alterations done to them. They they don't cook, they don't clean, they don't do nothing. This is not even about your status of your income of what you make. It's basically about who you are in your character and the way you carry yourself out here in your character. A man ain't gonna do nothing to you that, put it this way, a man only go as far as you let him. And sometimes a man only gonna treat you according to how you treat your own selves in the way you pick them. Okay? You have the wisdom to know what is good and what is evil. And they said sometimes they can hide. Yeah, they can hide they true selves as who they are. People put masks on, but eventually you can't hide it. But so long that you're going to see who he is, and it won't be long. Okay, it won't be long because I have met some crazy characters in the time when I was out there dating, and I remember meeting a dude, and he sat there and he tore his grandbaby mother to pieces to me. Talked so bad about that woman and talked about how he loved his children. I said, you know what? Forget my number. You know what I'm saying? Because when men got issues like that with women, and especially when they talk about, even though he slept with her, he picked her, he slept with her, and he did all this stuff with her, don't come and talk that foolishness to me. Keep that to yourself about your baby mama drama stuff. I don't want to hear it. Because once I hear that coming out of your mouth and you sitting there tearing this woman down and saying bad things about her in some kind of way or whatever like that, then something tells me about you as a man that just got some issues going on with yourself. Because no real man gonna sit around and talk to his date about his woman issues or share that with her. No real man that wants to really be involved with a woman and really looking to be with someone, and he see you as a prize. He see you as somebody that is worthy to be with, whatever, going to sit around and talk about another woman to you. So if you get any man that's sitting around saying bad and trashing women and everything with his mouth, break yourself free, girl. Break yourself free. It ain't like you wasn't warned. You wasn't warned. Don't be that desperate. Don't be that desperate. If you hear him sitting up there just trashing a woman and talking about her and all the stuff they did and how she was this and how she was that, then that ain't no real man. I'm just telling you right now because you're going to be his next victim. And I got myself away because I said, I don't like the way this sounds. I don't like the way he's saying this about his mother of his children. On top of that, a woman he slept with. So if you didn't want this, you feel this woman was this type of way, then why did you sleep with her? Why would you sleep with her? And you sitting up there trashing her. Just like I'm sitting up here and I'm going to take it to this point with Drea Kelly. Nothing about her speaks class. She was trashy. Her mouth was disgusting. The things that she tried to make herself sound all value and high on top of that. But she was trash. The way she carried on is the way she acted on those reality shows and the way she even acted in front of the public and how she presented saying things about her husband and took part in the surviving R. Kelly against him and all this other stuff. She was who she was. What you saw in the end is who she was from the beginning. Her real self came out to be. Ain't no government, nobody could have turned me to believe that I was going to turn and say these horrible things against my husband, whether we wasn't together or not. Especially if I'm considering saying that I had children with the man and I loved the man and he treated me wrong and the children, I loved them, his kids. Come on now, the way you talk trash about that man is the same way you felt about the children that you bared from that man, and you had you punished those children with that. What we saw in the end of who Drea was is who she was from the beginning. And ain't nobody going to sit up here and convince me not. And then she sat up there and tried to make an excuse and reasons for, some of her ratchet behavior. You know what I'm saying? Her ratchetness and her disgustingness. Yep. So prayerfully, Robert Sylvester Kelly, he will throw that in the back of his life and move on. If him and Joy make it, they make it, and prayerfully they will make it, and they could start. He could start a life with her and a family with her. Who says he can't? Because the Menendez brothers, who killed their parents, actually killed their mother and their father, gone got married, had a family and everything, and their wives come and see them in conjugal visits, whatever, with the kids. They had their little family conjugal visits and all that stuff. Them Mendez brothers, they got a family and everything, and they got a wife and everything that faithfully standing beside them. Even these, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, why can't Robert? And I also read this book called If Beale Street Can Talk. Deep movie. Deep book by Richard Wright or whatever, who wrote the book. That book is something I would recommend for some of these so-called victimized women to go and read. Black women, especially. If Beale Street Can Talk. Need to read that book. Deep. That this man actually went to jail for rape innocently. And his wife was expecting his love, his beautiful young fiance and everything, and what her family all tried to do. That he wouldn't have to be in prison. And what he went through. You just got to read the book. I don't want to give too much details about the book. But it's something that we need to look into. I mean, some of you need to read. Like that. And also, I wanted to just share, I wanted to talk about empowerment, but nobody's saying nothing in this chat. So I can't really go on and discuss things like that. I just share some things about the journey in life that my parents took, my elders, my ancestors took, and everything, what they had to do to survive, to hold it down, to keep their family's bloodline surviving, and to keep things going strong in the family bloodline. What some women had to give up of themselves to have something for their children. And today, women is too mouthy today. Ain't no woman trying to be no modern wife. I mean, not modern wife, traditional wife or anything. They want their career, they want to raise a family, and they want the man out the house when they want to run the household like they want to run the household. They want to be over the man instead of them allowing the man and them to work together and be partners and really work together to do what's right, and at least allow the man to lead and take that lead in the family. And a lot of women ain't allowing men to do that. They picking them up like children and bringing them home. They know the man ain't got a job. They know he's in between some mess in his life right now. They know he's not educated. They know he's going through some stuff, but they still lay down and want to give him a baby and just still want to start a family with these men and get already found the garbage out there and got messed up with garbage out there. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just like, yo, this ain't how it's supposed to be. No woman should be taking care of no man, and I'm sorry, I'm not in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like solely, this ain't your husband. He ain't married to you. You laying down. You haven't given him free. You giving him a, what they say in the old days, why you buy the cow when you could get the milk for free? Type of thing, and that's so true. And women shouldn't be out there pursuing men anyway. Men should find a wife, should find a good thing. You know what I'm saying? If he see you as good and in his eyes and somebody worthy to have a life with him and start a family life with him, it's supposed to be the man's pursuing, not women. And women today are just not trying to play that role. They trying to switch roles. They trying to be the man and the woman and raise the family and take care of the kids. It's just doing too much extra. Back to what I said about the women that's out here trying to accuse these men of the rape and all this other stuff. These women were doing something that they wanted to do, okay, consensually, for real, for real. Oh, he scouted them out. He did this. No, scouting out talent. They do that every day. They scout talent. Talent. They scout talent in basketball players. They, scholarships for college and school and all this other stuff. I don't believe none of this stuff that they put out in the media about what Robert Sylvester Kelly was doing, that he was running some kind of sex trafficking, and he was also trying to allure young girls into bed with him so that they can have this is how they had to pay to get, this is what they had to do to get their way into a record deal or music or whatever, which is a bunch of BS to me. This is something they wanted to do on their own. Nobody forced anything on them. Robert Sylvester Kelly even did a video live on YouTube with his, not live, but he did do a YouTube video to show when he was doing a song with K. Michelle, when he was working with K. Michelle. And he did that live in front of his fans. And he did that on a video in front of his fans so people could see how he's working in his studio and what he's doing in his studio. He didn't say do nothing to try to get her to bed with him or anything else like that. And if you watch that video closely, K. Michelle was like, "I'm here with my favorite, da 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 da," and touch his with his lips are and his little, she was being very seductive. Okay, watch the video. Go back the song when he was doing the song Echo. Everybody said, "Oh, he videotaped everything." He probably did videotape a lot of stuff in the studio. He was videotaping things that was going on in his studio or whatever like that with his artists so they could see they work and how they work together. And sometimes just look at things like this is how he worked. Like if he had to rewrite a song, it's just so like they turned it, and that's how the devil is. They turned it into something else. Oh, he had sex with this young girl, a minor, and he was on videotape. It was bootleg and blah 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 blah. Even though they didn't even determine whether that was that they couldn't even determine how old this young lady was and who was behind the videotaping. And it was only just that young girl. There was some other people that was wanting to get freaky and kinky and all that other stuff in the bedroom. So these people, this is what they do. This is what they like. This is their life behind Hollywood. This is their life in the entertainment world. That's what they do. Not everybody, but some, most of them. Not everybody. I'm just going to say the majority. Okay, but not everybody. But anyway, y'all, since I've been on here for this amount of time and I don't see people coming into this live, I guess my video is not getting people notifications, and I don't think too many people are really interested in what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to keep you too much longer. But if you're new to this channel, thank you. Welcome to my channel. And if you're viewing this channel or whatever like that, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification so when I come on, you'll get the notification. But I don't know what's going on tonight. I don't know what's ever going on with my videos, because I think it's YouTube. They just be keeping my videos from getting circulated so that this real talk can't really get out there, to give people to call in some critical thinkers. You know what I'm saying? And put some information out there to help people. And another thing I wanted to share, because I know I shared this on my community post too, about the billboards and stuff people want to put out there. I don't see nothing wrong with people contributing to this. I don't see nothing wrong. Just as the way you do it in diligence, do it in due diligence, and also do it like, hey, you're doing it for a good cause without complaining, without getting into any riffraff, without listening to people negative BS about it. If you feel you need to put out some billboards and posters and everything about this freedom for fight for Robert Sylvester Kelly, about the injustice, I don't see nothing wrong with that. If some people can get on a team and commit to that, why not? We are real R. Kelly supporters. We have to know how to support each other's work and support what each other do. Instead of coming on here and everybody tearing each other down and knocking other people's work down and saying negative stuff about what other people want to do in a fight and do a good, for a good cause. I can't get with all of that. If you want to talk that garbage, you go ahead and talk that garbage. But it's been 3 years now, and Robert Sylvester Kelly, like I said, he was sentenced to 30 years last June, in June. So we're gonna do all we can to fight for him. We're not gonna give up, So whatever works, work. We gonna try to, whatever we can do to make things work to get him out of this mess and to humanize him to the public. We have to hit that pavement. Like I've been saying for the longest, people got to get out there and pass out material, information to help against this injustice. They can't get away with this because if they can get away with it and they silence us like that, guess what? We don't know what's heading your way. We don't know who's next. So before we allow this to continue to go on, we got to do something about it. And he's the blueprint right now because they're coming for some other high-profile celebrities with this Me Too um, presidents and Time's Up and all these other groups that they got out here now, these organizations, I'm sorry, not groups, organizations they got out here now to come after these high profile celebrities and men, okay? Celebrities and men, it's just so much going on, but it's getting better, and I'm glad, and thank God for Jennifer Bongini and how she had to, like protect her client and say, look, no, my client had nothing to do with what this man chose to do on his own, and he was not my client's manager when he was out there saying he was. He's not. So thank you, Jennifer, for clearing that up if you come across this video. So the things I've discussed today: be empowered, be inspired, be confident, okay? Women, respect your husbands. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Hold it down for your children, your family, live a good life, okay? And also, I wanted to just say to you as well, let's continue to keep Holla in our prayers, keep the family in our prayers. And then if you could come across a video and put a prayer and a prayer request out there, put one. I mean, not a prayer request, but some kind of words of strength and encouragement for them right now. You can do that. I wouldn't tell you to send any money or anything like that because you just got to be careful on the internet who this money might go in the hands of or whatever. We don't want to bring that up in it, but we want to, be great. We want to say thank you for her and the things she has brought us hope for in the this fight with Robert Sylvester Kelly, just letting people know that she loves him, she believes in his innocence, and she also ain't gonna stop listening to R. Kelly. Okay, she made that very clear to people. As she kept saying, "I want to hear R. Kelly. I want to hear R. Kelly." She kept saying that to her kids in one of the videos, and the kids wouldn't allow her to listen to it because they said if we put it on, then YouTube is going to strike our channel and do all this other stuff like they do. Of course they do. And you just got to be careful. That's why I ain't playing no music in the background because they've been striking mine. Not striking it, but I've been getting, not too many good views on my videos because of the music. That's what YouTube do. The government, they got control over this stuff. I don't. But I just, whatever information I could just get out there to somebody, I do this. The ones you see wilding out and all these subscribers, these people, they channels that blow up the way they do, and Just Jazz. Oh yes, support her work. Please support her work. I think Just Jazz is doing great research, great work, doing the best she can out here. And y'all want to just be around channels that ain't really out here to fight for Robert Sylvester Kelly. They use these channels to capitalize and to make money. Some of them just fell off now. There ain't nobody talking nothing no more. They only was here just to make a few jokes, whatever, get some money and just go about their business, hey, we come back later and when people got all of it, then we could pop back on the scene, you got to be careful. So I'm just saying, but if you really truly about what's going on right now, Robert's trial is going to be taking place in August. I'm sure you know about it. Those who want to be there, be there. If you can't, then send your blessings or whatever, okay? So I got to go. So if God's willing, may or may not be back with you tomorrow. But until then, you all be safe. Stay cool. God bless. Love you. Peace.